Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84. I'm going to have a quick sad look today at two more plants that I've lost due to what I call the pots of doom. These are the pots that are highly favoured by growers such as Canarius, and the two plants that I've lost here are both sadly are grafted starfruit plants that I bought off them must have been last October. I think they arrived in November. Now unfortunately there's a combination of factors here, if you like, the perfect storm. Firstly, the plants were lost, not so much lost, but delayed in the post and customs for about 3 weeks. So when they arrived, if you look at my unboxing, I think it was sometime in November, when the box eventually arrived, having been inspected and checked for pests, the two starfruits were completely defoliated already. Now, one of the problems of these pots, these work quite well for a hot climate like Canarius because of the depth of them and the narrow and the very narrow surface area at the top of the pot. They retain moisture for a long time, which is very good for them in an extremely hot climate where they get a lack of rain anyway, and they want to try and keep the roots cool and not lose too much moisture. But the downside of that is in our climate, in winter, and on a plant that's got no leaves on it whatsoever, there's no water loss from the container at all effectively. If the plant's not got leaves, it can't transpire, and therefore the evaporation from the small surface area, you can see these pots are only about 6 inches across, so about 15 centimetres maximum, and that compared to the depth of the pot causes a problem. Now unfortunately, because the plants were stuck in transit and customs for about 3 weeks, they obviously arrived in extremely poor condition. The two plants I've got here were a carry, and the other one was a Sri Kembengan. So I'm very sad to have lost the plants. This one is absolutely stone dead from top to bottom, and I think what's happened is basically the shock of the transit for that long period of time and the massive leaf loss, and then the fact that the pots have stayed wet inside for a long time has resulted in root rot, which means that the plants haven't been able to recover. Now the other one here, the Sri Kembengan, which has got a thicker stem, the graft itself, it's totally died back the stem to below the grafted section, so the graft is gone, but the main stem, which is thicker than on the other plant, has got some green when you scrape the bark, and there are small green growth buds in a few places, which looks likely that I might be able to possibly save the rootstock. So it's obviously just going to be a seedling plant, which is no real use at all, but it'd still be nice to have a seedling starfruit, because eventually theoretically that would possibly flower, and it might even fruit and produce edible fruit, no way of knowing. But the whole idea of a grafted plant is obviously one to get a grafted variety you know is going to be of a certain quality, and also grafted plants will flower and fruit much quicker than a seedling plant that could take 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So what I'm going to do is, now you might ask me why I didn't repot them when they arrived in November, but to be honest, repotting any tropical in winter is very hazardous here, because the plants are completely dormant in our sort of cool climate, even indoors with central heating, because of the extremely low daylight hours, and you can't give them growing conditions that's going to help them recover, so it's best to leave them dormant. And when you get a plant that's turned up basically looking virtually dead and lost all its leaves, trying to repot it, the extra shock it's going to put it through is going to guarantee killing it anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'll pull them out the pot. I'm pretty sure the roots are completely dead on this thin one. The branch appears to, the stem appears to be brown all the way to the bottom, but as there's signs of life on this particular rootstock, I'm going to try and repot it. I'm going to wash all the roots off and get rid of all of the whatever this volcanic sort of muddy soil is that they favour using in the Canaries, and I'll plant it in a fresh open compost that I've been using to try and sort of nurse sick citrus and other tropicals that have had root problems, and see what happens. I mean, I've got nothing to lose. The plants were expensive. The grafted varieties are long gone, so I'm pretty sure that this one looks absolutely totally dead to the bottom of the roots. But as this one's got signs of life, perhaps if I give it I'm going to give the roots a good bare root washing on it, have a look at the roots, trim stuff off that's obviously dead and rotted, and just put it in a small shallow pot and just see if by any chance the rootstock comes back to life. I'm not sure whether to put it in the house or perhaps in my summer house. I don't think we're getting particularly cold weather, but to be honest, it's suffering anyway. I think the heat in there on warm days might benefit the plant. We'll see what happens anyway, but I thought I'd show you. So that's my 2 pots of doom, resulted in with the other circumstances, resulted in the loss of my 2 grafted starfruit, sadly, but at least I've got plenty of other plants still to concentrate on. So thanks for watching the video. Please give me a thumbs up. Obviously subscribe to my channel. You can share the video if you think anyone's interested. But I can't recommend these tree pots. These are fine for certain growing conditions, but they're not suitable for over here at all. And you can click on the bell if you'd be interested in knowing when new videos come out. So I'll catch up with you all soon. Brett out for now.